All right, this one took me a long time to make today. Definitely some brutal, uncomfortable truths that we are going to have to discuss together. But don't you worry, okay? Don't you feel sad. Don't you worry about anything because I'm here to help you. This video, I'm going to be explaining the only way to permanently satisfy hypergamy with women when dating. This is going to be the only way. Now, on top of that, we just hit 1,700 members inside of our community. I am helping these guys learn, understand, and master the language of women. And because this is the best spot for guys to actually start to see these things, okay, and understand female nature at a better level, so that way they can have a way better dating life, I want you to join us inside of that because we have been growing. So let's get into the video, okay? The only way to permanently satisfy hypergamy with women when dating. There's only one way, and that would be this. She has to get to a point where she is doing 100% of the pursuing in the relationship. All of it. Because that allows her to know that you are her best option. I'm going to explain how to do this in just a little bit, okay? Here's what you have to know and here's what you have to understand. Women only have respect for men who can leave them heartbroken. If you cannot break her heart, okay, or leave her heartbroken, there's no way you're going to ever have a strong enough pull on her emotions in order to fully gain her respect where she wants to consistently keep seeing you. So if she isn't doing 100% of the pursuing, you have to know this. You have not yet captivated her mind or emotions to the level needed to be her hypergamous best. That's okay. All of your past failures, okay, do not represent who you actually are. All of your past failures were learning experiences. All of your past failures brought you here to this marker board presentation today to help teach you what not to do. Okay? You have to forgive yourself from some of the mistakes you've made, and that's okay. That's part of learning. That's part of growing. That's part of wisdom. On top of that, it's not even fully your fault because your whole life you were probably told the wrong beliefs about dating as well as relationships, which is why I'm here to help you smooth some of these things over. So, if she's not doing 100% of the pursuing, you've not yet captivated her mind or emotions to the level needed to be her hypergamous best. Now, listen to me closely. Not every woman that you meet will view you as a 9 or a 10. That's okay. You're not going to be the right fit for everybody. No matter how much you try to level up your own attractiveness. There's some women who I meet and I just do it for them. Whatever it is about me, they like. There's other women, maybe at face value, they don't view me as the same level of interest that this other woman did. That's okay. Here's what you have to know. Not every woman will view you as a 9 or a 10. So what that means is you want to deal with the women who view you as close to a 10 as possible. Or at least what you want to do is at minimum, you want to deal with the women who you can actually raise her interest to this level or close to it. You want to deal with the women who want to actually be with you. You don't want to pursue a woman who has lukewarm interest. It's pointless. So here's how to get her to do 100% of the pursuing step by step. This is how to do it logically. And then in order to make this happen, we have to break some of the beliefs that you were told over the years emotionally. Okay. So here's how you do it on paper. Okay. How to get her to do 100% of the pursuing. You do it through inverses. When I say inverses, at first you are doing majority of the pursuing. Once she's formed some kind of relationship with you where she really, really likes you, now what you have to do is you have to lower your interest and investment level so she does majority of the pursuing. I'm going to explain what I mean. When you first meet a woman, at first it's probably going to be about 80-20. You doing 80% of the pursuing to set up dates, you doing 80% of the pursuing to create an experience that she would enjoy, and her doing about 20% of reciprocating some kind of interest where at least she's agreeing to meet you. This is typically how it is at first. Even for guys who are very attractive, okay, keep that in mind. They're still going to have to put in some level of communication and effort because she wants to feel like she's being pursued. Cool, okay? She feels like she's being pursued in the relationship. Now here's what has to start to happen. Post-intimacy, what's going to start to happen is now we're at about 50-50, okay? You are doing 50% of the outreach, and she's doing about 50% of the outreach. Maybe she is asking you what your plans are from time to time, okay? At this point, somewhere along the way, an attachment is going to happen. She's going to like the stories you tell her. She's going to like the way you make her feel. She's going to start to think about how your voice sounds. And on top of that, she's going to start to get an image of what the future might be like with you. Okay? This right here is where most guys actually ruin things too because of the cell phone. And they think that since she is now doing more of the communication, okay, I've made this mistake numerous times in the past. You assume because her interest is going up and she's communicating more, that you can also communicate right there with her. And you can reciprocate that high interest, and then you realize that she starts to doubt your value. Okay, keep that in mind. Once the attachment has happened, you start to reverse and do the opposite. So now you are maybe doing only about 20% of the outreach, and she's doing about 80% of the outreach. Okay, since women are relationship builders and they want to keep things together, this is where once you have her emotional investment, it's in her nature to want to pursue you for that relationship and to keep talking to you. When women really like a guy, they absolutely hate having to restart and find another guy because they wasted months or years with the wrong guy. And women know how hard it is for them to find a guy that they like. Like even guys who are attractive, a lot of times women will meet them and they just don't like them. They don't like them as a person, whatever it is. They don't like his vocal cadence. They don't like the jokes he makes. They don't like how he laughs, whatever. You don't know what it is, but there's something about you she doesn't like. It's very hard for women to find a guy that she likes. So women will start to do majority of the pursuing now once the attachment has happened because she wants to keep that together. So until she is at 100%, okay, and fully attached at that point, you need to start to pull all the way back, and you only see her now when she is reaching out to you. So basically, you are now the one being pursued. You are the one being pursued for time. You are the one being pursued for care. You are the one being pursued for your investment that you could be giving her. Okay, keep that in mind. So why is this so important? I'm going to explain. The reason why this is so important is because you want to signal that you're not sold on her on a personality level. Now, I'm going to explain in just a little bit what that means, okay? When I say you're not sold on her on a personality level, or you're not sold on her as a person, what you're basically saying is you're saying, hey, I'm attracted to you, yes, but I don't know if I like you. I don't know if I like you on a personality level as a person. Here's why this right here will hook a woman into love at such a deep degree. I'm going to repeat this one more time, and I want you to even take notes on this, okay? The reason why, okay, you want to start to pull all the way back is because this is signaling that you are not sold on her on a personality level. Now, to women, this can oftentimes leave them potentially heartbroken due to the fact that you have to remember this. They only see the world through their own lens of attraction, which means women don't just look at how you look, okay, or how good looking you are, like physically, okay? Women look at the person as a whole. Okay, so when women like a guy, they look at how he walks, they look at how he talks, they look at his beliefs, they look at how he operates, they look at his views of the world, they look at his future, okay, they look at his goals, they look at specifically his hobbies and his interests. All of this makes up you, okay? Here's the funniest thing. Is oftentimes, since this is the only lens of attraction women can see, women will start to assume that you see them through this lens of attraction as well. Okay? So, even though this may or may not be true, and it probably isn't true because a lot of times men are specifically focused on beauty, okay, here's what you have to remember. When you are pulling back like that, you're signaling basically that you're not sold on her in the relationship, or you're not sold on her personality. A lot of times this is pretty devastating to them because all of the things that she's now interested in, her as a person, okay, not just how she looks, keep that in mind. She's not only looking at you at just how you look. So she assumes that you are probably viewing this the same way. When she sees that you're not sold on her on a personality level, this is where she starts to tell herself, oh my gosh, do I have self-work to do? Am I not communicating the right way? Is there something about me that's unattractive? Am I not wearing the right kind of makeup? Am I not giving enough love and affection? Am I not cooking snacks and baking cookies enough? Okay, all these thoughts come into her mind. And this is where the attachment has formed because you have basically said, yes, I'm attracted to you. Okay? But to women, you got to remember how you look right here. Like, let's write the word look right here. This is only a small portion of it for them. And a lot of times they assume that you're seeing the same things that they're seeing. So when you say, hey, I don't know if I like you on a personality level, you're basically saying I'm attracted to you, but I don't know if I fully like you. And that right there really affects their emotions due to the fact that she sits there and questions why she's not good enough. And that right there is what satisfies hypergamy. It's not your bank balance and it's not what kind of car you drive. Okay, it's taken me a lot of years to figure this out. It's taken me a lot of mistakes to figure this out. It's taken me more mistakes than pretty much anybody that I know. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now, you were told your whole life that a relationship is designed for you to not be lonely and to have a life companion. This is what you were told. Here are some beliefs that we have to start to break. You were told your whole life that a relationship is designed for you to not be lonely, okay? To have a life partner to experience adventures with. This is what you were told. Someone to experience adventures with and eat with and cook food with and have a great time with. To have someone to grow a future with. And specifically to find someone who loves you and that you can grow companionship with. Okay? So to a man, this is probably your idea of like romance or love or who you would view, that person in your life with. Only to not realize this, all while hiding the fact that while you're doing all of these things, companionship and love, her romantic desire for you falls gradually until it hits zero. This is what nobody talks about. Nobody tells you that as you live with her, okay, and you guys go to bed together every single night as you're living together and you sleep by her side every single night. Nobody talks about the fact that as you're laying down right there, about to fall asleep, she's never thinking about the guy who's actually right there with her. She's always thinking about the guy who's not beside her. This is what guys don't talk about, and this is what nobody tells you. Is the man in her fantasy is the man who's not with her. It's the man in the movie. It's the man in the love story. It's the man in the romance novel who's not by her side. That's the guy that she dreams of. This is what they don't tell men. So keep that in mind. What you want to do, okay? For some of you saying, well, Casey, I don't get a lot of options or I'm not generating a lot of attraction. Here's what you have to remember. A lot of times, if you look at how dating was maybe when you were in high school or college, and you look at a lot of the guys who maybe had a lot of dating success, it was typically based on a few things. It was typically based on popularity, right? It was typically based on athleticism and how athletic they were in school, or they had some kind of unique skill. Maybe they skateboarded. Maybe they were really good at guitar. Whatever. This is what it is. Okay? Some kind of popularity, okay? Some kind of athleticism or a unique skill. And this typically would create attraction in the eyes of a woman that she has for that man. So here's what you have to do. You have to spend as close to 100% of your time as possible building your own attractiveness, because I'm going to tell you this, just because you get older, the game doesn't really change after college. It's not like any of this changes. Okay? It's still the exact same way that it was when you were younger. Now, your environment might be different. You might be working a professional job now. You might have different friends now who are building families and stuff. But you got to remember that when you're dating, it is still the exact same. And you have to remember that at all times when you're building your own attractiveness. So what you want to do, or what you have to do, is you have to appeal to the female lens of attraction by elevating your status, by crafting your own unique masculine archetype. I'm going to say that one more time because I know that that's a lot of words. You appeal to the female lens of attraction, not the masculine lens of attraction. This is where guys mess up because they only appeal to the masculine lens of attraction. And you think that bigger muscles and you think that more money and a nicer car is going to get you access to better dating options. And then you are in for a rude awakening when you realize women don't care because they're still looking at the main things. Popularity, unique masculine archetype, how the man carries himself as a whole. Okay? Women look at the entire person. So they don't just look at how you look, or they don't just look at what kind of car you drive. They look at you as a person and how you move and how you navigate the world and how you operate and why you think the things that you do and why you feel the way that you do about certain things and why you communicate the way that you do and why you laugh at certain jokes and why you tell those certain jokes and everything. because that to her matters. And the biggest mindset shift that I have had to uncover for myself over the past 3 to 5 years is realizing that it is not about what I want. It is not about what I want women to want. It is purely about what they want. Because if you are not giving them what they want, they just go look for it at some other spot. They look for it elsewhere. It's just like business. If you're not giving your customer, if you have a business, what they want, they will just go look for it at a different spot. It's not about what you want, and it is not about what you want them to want. It is purely about what they want. So, you want to appeal to the female lens of attraction by elevating your status and by crafting your own unique masculine archetype. So, let me explain something to you. This is top secret. This is my own little secret. All designed for you to improve. Listen to me closely. This is why their fantasy man is usually some kind of skateboarder, surfer, musician, artist, or DJ. Because this is the guy who has some kind of social popularity, right? And he has some kind of unique masculine archetype that appeals to the female lens of attraction. Okay? You have guys doing all kinds of things nowadays to try to appeal to the female lens of attraction. You have some guys getting excessive amounts of piercings. You have some guys tattooing rose petals across their chest. They're trying to do everything that they can because a lot of guys know that right now the competition is tough. You're competing against everybody that is in her cell phone. You are competing against everybody in her city and every other city throughout the world. So you better get good at competing and crafting a non-replicatable character. You better get good at competing and realizing that God only made one of you, so it is in your best interest to maximize yourself and to create your own unique masculine archetype in a way that nobody's ever done before. So when you do this, and you start to actually see what women respond to, and you look at the typical archetypes in her fantasy, skateboarder, surfer, musician, artist, DJ, rarely, okay, is it the typical looks, money, status, rich guy stuff that you were told your whole life. You need to start to get a better understanding of female nature, and that is why I have this channel to help revitalize masculinity so men can actually see the truth in their own dating dynamics. Glad that we got that out of the way, because now we have to address the final topic. I want you to start to understand that virtually everything that women are attracted to in real life will never make logical sense to you on paper. To this day, there is still sometimes I look at what a woman is attracted to, and I sit there and I go, why? And how is this even possible? And I've done this for a lot of years, but this is how I came to all these conclusions. And I came to all these conclusions by realizing that it's not supposed to make sense to me. It will only make sense to them. And that's okay. That's fine. This is why I'm telling you, your mistakes don't define you. Your mistakes do not define you. Every single failure in your relationships that you have had need to just give you a better understanding and better worldview, okay, of how people operate. And that's fine, okay? I've had a lot of great experiences along the way. I have dated some women in my life over the past 5 years that I would have never imagined in a million years when I was younger that I would have ever had access to date. Everything has been a learning experience. Everything. Your failures don't define you. Keep that in mind. So, you need to start to understand that virtually everything they're attracted to in real life will never make sense to you logically on paper, and that's okay. Your lens of attraction will be based oftentimes on beauty and what you see, okay? And women's attraction is story-based, and it's based on mainly about what they hear. What they hear and the words alters their perception of their own reality. Some women feel like they are better off with a guy who doesn't check any of the boxes that they claim that they want on paper. And that's okay. It's not going to ever make logical sense to you. So women's attraction is story-based, and it's typically about what they want to hear. Yours is about what you see, and hers is about what she hears. So you see her, okay, and you feel attracted. When she sees you, okay, listen to me closely. You see her, and you feel attracted. She sees you and can only feel the story in her imagination of what you might be like. Say that one more time. That's beautiful. I don't even know how I wrote that today. She sees you. Actually, let's start from the beginning. You see her and you feel attracted. She sees you and can only feel the story in her imagination of what you might be like. And to her, that's attraction. And a lot of times, that's why the more she gets to know you, that storybook wears off really quick because you didn't live up to the expectation that she probably thought that you were. And I'm going to tell you this, almost every single guy is going to have to go through that. The longer amount of time you spend with them, and she starts to see that, oh, you catch a cold too, and you go to the bathroom every day at the same time too, and you're pretty routine too. And even that guy who's the surfer or the skateboarder wakes up and makes the same whole wheat toast every single day and puts the same amount of peanut butter on it every day and drinks the same kind of coffee every day and listens to the same kind of music every day. And she goes, oh my gosh, I don't like him either. And that's what women deal with. She sees you and can only feel the story in her imagination of what you might be like. Her whole reality is built through words and yours isn't. So to conclude this video, I want to say this one thing. That's okay. I have gotten to a point in my dating life where I now see what they're attracted to, and I realize it's not supposed to make sense to me because I'm not her, and that's okay. There are certain things I do in my day-to-day life, and I've had women tell me how attractive it is when I did this one thing or I said this one thing, and she goes, oh my gosh, that's so hot. And I looked at her and I just stopped for a second. I'm like, I would have never thought in a million years that that one thing that I said or that one thing that I did in that circumstance caused attraction for you. Never in a million years. I can't see the world how they see it. And that's okay. You never will either. But my videos is going to give you the best chance at actually having dating success. So I want you to take this a step further. We are now at 1,700 members inside of our community for a reason. I am helping these guys learn, understand, and master the language of women. And I know that I can help you too because I do this every single day and I think that I'm the best at this. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.